Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are listening to this on a podcast, welcome to this very first edition of my podcast. But if you're joining me from YouTube, in today's episode, we will be discussing all things keto and carnivore diet with a Greek couple who are the founder of Greek Goes Keto, where they pretty much have ketonized every single Greek dish, which I think is amazing. Being from a Greek background, it's like you can't avoid carbs, but they have like somehow managed to ketonize every dish. So without any further ado, we'll get into the interview because I learned so much through this interview. So let's go. So I want to know about yourselves and how you guys got into this.
Yeah, I studied nutritionism actually in Bosnia and Herzegovina and of course in London. Therefore, for me, it's a ketogenic diet is another branch. It's not the standard nutritional path a nutritionist will take. Okay. So it has a different approach, and we want to focus on mainly inflammation of the body.
He didn't start, he didn't at the university, why I showed you the diplomas, even though he has a degree in nutrition, he at the universities, they don't teach that.
No, they don't.
They mentioned ketogenic diet, but that's where they stop. Then he started investigating things. He started learning more about it. He started actually practicing it. And as since he is authorized to make meal plans, he started nutrition therapy with some of his clients with Keto Mediterranean approach. Keto Mediterranean is very different from standard keto. It's a kind of diet that focuses on nutrition of ancient Greeks, not modern Greeks, but ancient Greeks without cereals, without too many carbs, focusing on seafood, ruminant animal meat, only lamb, veal, and goat, and these traditional Greek things. You as a Greek, you might know.
I know, I know.
And turned out, he did some research, turned out that each and every client that he had on Keto Mediterranean had much better results than clients who were on standard keto. So this is when he started thinking about website. And since I'm a graphic designer, actually, I'm a professor of computer art, computer graphics.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Totally different thing. And I've been also, as yourself, I've been involved in journalism, and I've been working for both TV and radio and some stations.
Good on you.
Yeah. So I told him, we have a background. I'll do the design. I'll do the writing. Well, maybe it will not be a perfect English, but we're going to work on it. And you can do it in Greek. So we started the website. But I have a huge passion in cooking and baking and making things, ketonizing things. I came up with this word, ketonizing,
Ketonizing, I like that.
If you're going to type ketonizing in Google, it's going to come up Greek Goes Keto.
I'm sure.
The viewers.
So, like, any specific purpose as to why you began Greek Goes Keto? Like, is there like a story behind it, or?
Nutrition always was my passion, together with exercising. Those things are correlated together. They are interlaced. So I wanted something different because I could see consuming loads of carbohydrates per day. And especially when you're doing weightlifting, you are constantly hungry. You have to eat 1.5 to 2 hours. So a lot of body fat, a lot of subcutaneous fat, visceral fat, which is not a good indication. So I wanted to have another approach with fewer meals and to have great results. And through my research and of course the knowledge through the university, I realized that a low carb approach was the best. The first step was the low carb. Eventually and gradually, of course, you're going to a ketogenic diet, which is really strict with carbohydrates, teaching carbs.
And then you have zero
carbs and carnivore diet. These are
wow. Well, this is actually very interesting. I want to touch on carnivore a bit after. Just for now, so can you tell us a bit about keto? Like, what exactly is keto?
What the ketogenic, the ketosis actually is a metabolic state, absence of carbohydrates. So to not presence of fat. This is something people usually have this misconception that we have to consume with fat, but it's the absence of carbohydrates.
I would like just to point out there are many different ketos out there, especially the worst keto of them all is called dirty keto, and it's mainly practiced in America.
I'm sure.
We think that the United States has done a lot of damage to the healthy keto. So that's why we started Mediterranean keto, which is totally different. We actually think that by consuming a little bit more protein than standard keto and a little bit moderate fat, but still high fat, you would have much better results sooner. And excluding carbs to the level of garnish, you know, you don't eat a big bowl of salad, you eat just like a little bit aside. And then you eat enough of fresh seafood, organic meat, and of course, natural, domestic, if it's possible, pasture-raised eggs. And we also place a large emphasis on avoiding cow's dairy. We are promoting goat and sheep dairy, which is much healthier and has less sheep dairy.
So when you say standard keto versus the keto that you guys endorse, can you kind of break that down?
Yes, of course. We don't buy almost not even a thing from a supermarket. We put emphasis on farmers market, butcher shop, fisherman market, you know, old-fashioned way of sourcing food, and prepare all meals at home, have only 2 meals a day. We do morning fast. Our keto is Mediterranean style. In the morning,
I do that too.
That's very good approach. In the morning, old people would go to the fields. They wouldn't eat anything. You know? And then they would come afternoon, they would come for the first meal. So there was no breakfast. And we think that this is the best way to activate the utilization of stored body fat. And we also put an emphasis on body composition. We don't care about general weight. We care what's the percentage of fat up to you, what's the percentage of muscle mass, bone density, and then how much water.
Of course, a great indicator how healthy you are, the body comp. It's a factor. We cannot avoid to see that.
And we think that it's a little bit like old-fashioned way of thinking, like grandmas used to do, cook everything at home. And if you have to eat out, learn how to do it, what to order.
And we're fighting inflammatory foods like cow's milk, dairy, of course, chicken, pork, high in omega-6. Mainly we want to consume omega-3s.
So KMD has no pork or chicken.
I thought so. Okay, so just to break this down even further. So your keto diet eliminates inflammatory foods. So for example, pork, did you say chicken? And cow's milk? What else?
Well, any industrial overprocessed ingredients such as xanthan gum or
xanthan, really? Also xanthan gum?
Yeah, they promote inflammation in the small intestines. So it's something that enhances the bad bacteria in the microflora, which means that's the reason we have so many autoimmune diseases and all this. You can see that the youth is really fighting with all those contemporary diseases.
It's everywhere.
You want to take, for example, a heavy cream, and it has loads of those additives. Exactly. It's enormous.
All right. So now can you tell me what are the health benefits of this kind of keto dieting?
Would you take over?
Yeah, of course. As I told you, we're focusing mainly on animal-based foods. This we want to make the base of our plates. The main reason is that we can absorb everything from animal-based foods compared to, of course, plant-based foods. Benefits are many because, first of all, I will not stand to that you're gonna reduce your weight. To lose fat, it's just a positive side effect. We're gonna call it following a KMD, Keto Mediterranean Diet. But generally, you're gonna see the hormones balancing. This is especially for women. when they're consuming a lot of chicken, which has a lot of antibiotics, hormones, we can see that it has really negative impact on our...
Can I cut in here? When you say chicken, do you mean every single type of chicken, including hormone-free chicken, organic chicken, grass-fed chicken, blah, blah, blah?
Of course, the main reason is that when we're buying biological, let's call it chicken or pork, always going to contain high omega-6 profile.
Yeah.
There is not something else there. We cannot reduce the omega-6. That's the reason we are focusing always in ruminant animals like goats, like sheep, veal, beef. The main reason is that they're consuming plants, and there we want to make base of our main plate. We have 2 meals. We want to have maybe eggs. In the second one, maybe fish, or combine, for example, shrimps with meat. Why not? And supplement now with veggies. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut in again. You just said you can consume shrimp and meat products together.
Yes, together.
I've heard you should actually never mix those two.
Yeah.
You should never mix them.
This is because of your Greek heritage.
And another misconception, the main reason that usually we're not combining, for example, they're saying don't consume cheese with fish together, is because if you have an allergy, you need to determine in which particular food you had allergy. If you're consuming a lot of those stuff together, it makes it not difficult for the doctor to determine. So,
but those two proteins go, or any kind of protein can go together. All kind of recipes from countries such as France, Italy, etc. They are combining this type. Take paella, for example, the Spanish dish, very popular dish. It combines all sort of seafood and meat in one dish.
You're right.
So,
yeah.
only in Greece there is these prejudices. They think that something's going to happen to you if you mix.
Only the Greeks.
But we are there too. I wanted to help to Apollonas because we have a short time frame now, so we can't put everything that we want to tell you. We want to share so much with you. So
I'm sure.
we put together an article about healing with Keto Mediterranean Diet, how actually a protocol of healing. So we have 3 levels. The number 1 is to heal your gut, because
very important.
Exactly. If you heal your gastrointestinal system and your immunity is going to improve, this has to be the first task, regardless of your condition. I'm reading from the article now. Everything starts with the proper utilization of nutrients. If your system is unable to process or absorb micronutrients, which are even more important than the macronutrients, micronutrients are everything, especially the profile of omegas, omega-3 to omega-6.
Usually everybody's focusing protein, carbs, and fats. And they like to see the big image, which are the micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. Because when we're saying a vitamin, it's not just a vitamin to fortify our immune system, but it's a pro-hormone, which means it's making natural steroids in our bodies, fortifying immune system, 1 million operations. It's really important to keep consuming those nutrient-dense foods, like animal-based foods, of course, organic, but and to give focus on those. For example, meats, eggs, fish, and seafood, or to mix those foods together, or internals, offals, generally, extremely nutrient-dense foods. For example, people saying, okay, you are going carnivore, where are you obtaining all those vitamins? And of course, we have their internals. Internal organs are an amazing source of vitamins and metals.
All kind of vitamins. Look now, the second protocol that after you fixed your gut health, you have to fix your deficiencies. You have to do a blood exam and you have to see what you are deficient in. Most of the people in today's world are deficient in vitamin D, most of us.
Really?
All around. Exactly. We don't consume enough of omega-3. We don't. Everybody can say, I eat a lot of fish, but not blue fish, not sardines, not, those really rich, or for example, cod liver oil. Nobody takes by spoon cod liver oil.
No one does anymore.
But there are products which don't taste bad anymore. There are sardines, as I'm reading now the article, and I'm going to show it to you. The photo is sardines fresh, as the Greeks used to do for 1,000 years. And the last phase of your healing is to stay ketonized, is to stay on keto at least for 2 years.
Really?
Don't cheat. Don't ever cheat. Just approach the diet as your healing path, and you can still, with ketonization, because you ketonized everything. Come on, I ketonize baklava. How cannot I ketonize everything from yemista to all kind of traditional Greek dishes, etc., and some famous international dishes such as Viennese schnitzel, or something which is very popular.
All those
foods,
yeah.
Tagliatelle, Italian pasta became now totally keto because I made it
Wow.
all eggs and butter.
Our main goal is to reach fat adaptation.
Exactly.
There is the key, you know, to burn, actually to metabolize fat as fuel. We need to show to the body that there is only one direction to burn fat, not to utilize carbohydrates, because gluconeogenesis, to create carbs out of fat or protein, is going to happen de facto by the liver. So the reason carbs are not necessary.
Very interesting. That's incredible. I want to touch on ketosis. Can you tell us what ketosis is?
It's a metabolic state, simple, but regarding to, the food that you are introducing to your body, you're going to be in a stage of ketosis. Usually we have some measurements that we understand in what part of ketosis we are, but we want to reach nutritional ketosis, which means in our blood, we have between 1 to 3 mmol per liter ketones. This is an optimal, we're going to say, the range to metabolize fat, if you want to say better than to say burn fat. Which when we're fasting, we're not having food. Generally, our body is going to tap in our stored fat.
Okay. So I'm assuming that being in ketosis is where you're burning your body's natural fat sources instead of the carbohydrates.
Exactly.
Okay,
and
perfect.
the difference is when we're hungry, because you cannot have hypoglycemia, we have homeostasis, which is really important for the body. The ketone bodies are anabolic, which means spare muscles. This is really important. While we're consuming carbohydrates and we burn glucose as fuel, when we cannot never reach a homeostasis, because it's going to happen hypoglycemia, and immediately the body is going to give the signal of hunger. We're going to have mood swings and all these negative side effects, of course, because we are deadly hungry. And because there is not external fuel of glucose, food, of course, body will break down muscle tissue into amino acids and provide necessary energy, which means we're losing muscle tissue. And we have this, you can see a lot of people following these diets with a lack, a lot of protein. They are skinny fat. They have a lot of fat, but they don't have muscle tissue.
Wow. Okay. So how do you know if your body is in ketosis? Like, are there any particular signs or?
Yes, they are. Well, the standards, the thing is the body prefers carbohydrates. They are faster fuel, faster energy. So if there is even a little bit carbohydrate in the diet, your body will run on glucose, on blood glucose. So until you cut the carbs to real minimum, like total minimum, 20%, 20 grams per day. Like
really only 20 grams.
That would lead to ketosis. So you will, maybe somebody in the beginning will have a feeling of lightheaded, or maybe
keto flu.
They will
These
have
are
some
symptoms of
headaches.
keto flu.
Exactly.
I've heard of that.
But it's gonna pass. But the ideal way to check if you're really in ketosis, if you're running on ketones, not on glucose, is if you get blood stripes with blood. It's a device which is measuring your blood, just like diabetes.
Glucose or keto meter.
Or you can take the stripes which are measuring ketones in your urine. But this is not totally relevant, because those ketones are the ketones that you are relieving out of your body, because you don't use them for energy, so you are just relieving them. Ideally, everybody in the beginning should check if they are in ketosis by using these keto meters. It doesn't hurt, it's just one sting, and immediately you will know. It's good to be in mild ketosis. It's dangerous to be in deep ketosis. For this reason, we must not overeat fat. we must eat enough of protein, enough of fat, but totally reduce carbohydrates, and then we will be in mild ketosis.
Actually, people who need to go deep ketosis, they have some medical conditions and they're under supervision. So it's really important to know what we're doing and what we're consuming. That's the reason always to take an advice from specialists.
Good to know.
Okay. Just eat fat by spoon and think they can.
Coconut oil.
Oh, do you drink caffeine?
Yes, we do. Of course, we do drink coffee. I drink classic Fred espresso or even frappe made with espresso.
You do drink caffeine?
Wow. Yes, without problem. But if I want it, I drink with a little bit goat cream or goat
cream. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How does a person get through keto flu?
Yeah,
easily.
It's really easy, but sometimes people get scared because they are the first signs of those small side effects. They don't know what to do. They think something went terribly wrong, but it's really a matter of good hydration, because we're losing all the, let's call them low carb diets. They're unfortunately promote urination, a lot of urination. We have to extract a lot of liquids, which means we have to replenish all those electrolytes that we have. So we have all these side effects, and we make sure through, of course, nutrition, and maybe we're gonna have to put sparkling mineral water, bone broth. It's really important, have a lot of electrolytes and minerals to replenish all those stuff, and immediately, maybe after 1 or 2 days, we're gonna be fine.
Okay. So how does a person get started on the on the Mediterranean keto diet?
Very good question. They have two options. They can read a couple of articles which we published. They could attend. We have a service which we are offering, which is called Keto Mediterranean consultation session, 45 minutes of intro to Keto Mediterranean Diet, where they can ask all the questions and where they will get. We also have an ebook with free ebook, which people can download and learn how to start, which are the allowed food, which food they should avoid at any cost, and how to do it properly. We have written so many articles about proper utilization.
And of course, videos.
Of course, we have a video, YouTube channel, etc. But what's most important, if somebody has a health problem and they want to do it,
that's what
then there is a program done with Apollonas. It's 4-week program, a monthly program with each and every meal described as a recipe, with timing and when to do it, how to do it, and guidance. Once per week, they have a video call. He's monitoring them.
It's a complete guide, I would say.
It's okay.
4-week meal plan.
Okay.
That's the way, and that works 1,000,000%. Whoever tried it had results.
So would you say your success rate is maybe 99%, 100%?
If somebody follows the program
properly, like properly.
The first month is really crucial, because we're talking about the fat adaptation. We need to direct, as I said, the body in one way, and this is to metabolize fat. If we fail to do that, we will not have the results that we want. It's really important.
Ideal results come after 6 months. So after this first month, they go with Apollonas day by day. After that, maybe they can start alone, but still with the guidance of video calls, occasional video calls. And after that, for the next year, they can come up with meals alone. They know what they have. They don't know what is actually important to eat to have all the micronutrients, and especially what's in particular for their condition. For example, it's not the same KMD for a person with, let's say, autoimmune disease such as diabetes, and then, or let's say Hashimoto or any other autoimmune disease. And then we have some conditions which are related to heart, or to respiratory system problems, or even neurological diseases. So the keto is different for each different, this KMD.
Or for example, IBS.
IBS,
For example, you have to exclude mainly all the vegetables. It's really important to get rid of fiber.
Of fiber.
Which is the complete and total opposite of what everybody tells you. It's the opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The official nutrition science is against it, but it's wrong. It's wrong.
Just,
and
it's awful. So I became keto because I've tried every diet on planet Earth, believe me. And it was kind of like a last resort for me. So would you say that keto Mediterranean diet can cure chronic problems?
Definitely.
Reverse them.
Really? We work with several people that, first of all, I'm going to talk about myself, that I used to have IBS, not anymore.
Oh, really?
Because,
okay.
You know it when you're consuming some kind of veggies, and especially when you're visiting gastroenterologists, you have to introduce this, you have to introduce that, but you don't see results. It creates some frustration. Yeah. And nutrition and psychology, they're going together. We cannot hand by hand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The root of the problem is the nutrition, always been. So we need to change a few stuff there, and we see that when we're excluding fiber, results are phenomenal.
That is very interesting that you point that out. Okay, so back to your original question. So I have been keto carnivore for 6 weeks. Now, against everything that everybody told me, I did it. So in the beginning, all I consumed was organic grass-fed beef, avocado, eggs, and lactose-free yogurt. I did that for 2 weeks. And my symptoms gone, completely gone. Then the Easter time came, and as you know, we consume all this food. Straight away on the same day, all the symptoms came back on the same day, I promise you. So I've gone back onto my keto carnivore diet, but what I really noticed for me was that my so I lost 6 kilos in 2 months. I'm craving for carbs, gone, just gone. So for me, I've craved sugar my whole life. Like, it's just terrible. So I guess my question for you is, for people that are trying to heal irritable bowel syndrome or polycystic ovarian syndrome, would you say that sticking to keto long-term is the key to actually curing it?
Of course. A lot of women, they have PCOS or hypothyroidism, Hashimoto, and we see when they're sticking to their ketogenic. The main problem is that we need to define this ketogenic, because a lot of people think that I'm following ketogenic diet, but they keep consuming loads of carbs. For example, you cannot include a lot of nuts. Nuts are fat and carbs. Together, they are triglycerides, which means it's like you're following the regular diet.
This is why you should be off almond milk.
Yeah, exactly. All the byproducts of nuts and that, they're a terrible problem. So when they're following a proper design for them, because you need to take a lot of factors when you are creating a meal plan. You need to see if there is a medical if there is a disease, if there is, for example, a background of exercise, a lot of those factors, and to create a unique plan that is going to give results. And if they're going to stick to that meal plan, the results are 100% there. And
it doesn't have to be restrictive. For example, now you mentioned Easter. We had Easter here a couple of days ago, 2 days ago. We had guests, Greeks. They came here because they're working here nearby in Sarajevo. And they came and we prepared the whole table. Every single dish was keto. But it was...
I wish I was there.
I even had sriracha. I had cookies, the Easter cookies. I had cake. I had, we had and tzatziki and salads and everything made the way Greeks are made. And of course, we had lamb chops. We had paidakia.
Oh, and yum.
And even the bread was keto. So everything can be ketonized. This is what I want to tell you.
All right. I have just a few more questions left. So I want to quickly talk to you guys about carnivore diet. Now, we mentioned it before, but I want to go more into it. So I don't know if you guys know Michaela Peterson. She's Jordan Peterson's daughter. Now, she claims that carnivore diet has cured her autoimmune disease. So I feel that people are really confused as to what carnivore is.
I'm searching for the article on Grigor's Keto called Zero Carb Phenomenon, which talks exactly about that problem. Okay, the less fiber you consume, the less often you go to the toilet, and you think something is wrong. But did you know who is Dr. Sean Baker?
No. Just
well,
briefly,
in the world of carnivore diet, he is number one. He is the first promoter of carnivore diet, and he's, I think, the most famous person on earth when it comes. If you write carnivore diet,
Baker.
Exactly, Sean Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, who's
Dr.
actually
MD. Yeah, he's my doctor.
He's a surgeon. In specific orthopedics, exactly. And he started investigating about carnivore diet when he wanted to save some patients of his of amputation. He wanted to save them. It was possible, yes. He first put them on carnivore diet, and after that he was not he didn't have to cut their limbs because this is usually diabetic problems,
Wow, okay.
So this is what he said about not going so often to the toilet. Humans should not go more than once or twice per week.
Are you serious?
Proper human diet is only once or twice per week. But if you go every day, or if you go once in 2 or 3 days, it's still okay. You don't have to worry. The problem is if you go 2-3 times per day, now that's a problem. Something is wrong.
I feel as though the majority of people normalize going 2 to 3 times per day.
Because of too many carbs and too many starches. Starch is destroying the gut microflora, and fiber in particular is doing the same thing. It's causing inflammation in the protective layer, inner layer of your gut. And when this is inflamed, when the bacteria balance there is not proper, you constantly have the urge to empty the bowel. You constantly have this urge. So even if you actually don't have something to...
Plus, you don't have the same meal frequency. People, again, they have this misconception. You are eating maybe 2, max 3 times, tops. Before, you will eat 6-7 times per day. So we need to take and this factor under consideration. We're going to say that we wouldn't go to the toilet for a couple of days. And of course, somebody is going to have really, they don't have side effects. They don't have pains. They don't feel bulked, nothing. They're not gases, the usual type of side effects. Everything is normal.
On carnivore diet, it's extremely important to eat organ meats. You can't only eat meat. And it's also important to stay away from omega-6 high meat, such as poultry and pork, and place an emphasis on include, for example, you can have rabbit. If you miss chicken, have rabbit, because it's exactly the same in texture and flavor. You can have goat, you can have lamb, you can have liver, heart, you can have kidneys. Those foods are ancestral foods. Maybe you think, oh, how am I going to eat that? Make a pate, use your blender. You have a blender at home. Just bake it in the oven. Add some spices, whatever you like, preferably dried spices. Don't use real onion, use onion powder and things like this, so that your carnivore diet is not boring. There are so many recipes. We have jellos. For example, grass-fed beef gelatin. It's the best thing in the universe. Everybody should eat it every day. Grass-fed beef gelatin going to save your gut. Your IBS is going to cure definitely. Really? Then bone broth. If you can't have bone broth every day, just have some grass-fed beef gelatin. Make a jello or mix it with water. Drink enough of natural spring mineral water, because those are the electrolytes that come natural. If you take industrial electrolytes, they usually add microcrystalline cellulose, and this thing is going to block your gut. So you don't want industrial. The food and ingredients made in laboratory, they will not help us. They will definitely...
I know that personally.
We have to go back to the kitchen of our grandmas. Go back to how Yaya was cooking.
100%. All right. So my last question is, and you mentioned this in the beginning, intermittent fasting. Now you said that you consume 2 meals per day, and then you fast up until midday?
Yes. Well, let's say your first meal is at noon
12 and a half, for example.
Let's say at 1, even at 1.
Yep.
And sometimes we fast until 2, right?
Yeah, sometimes until 2, especially during the summer. Yeah,
during the summer is easier. In this period, you can have black coffee, tea, a lot of mineral water. It's important to have
hydration. Yeah.
And you can add a teaspoon or tablespoon of apple cider vinegar during the fasting period, just to refresh yourself, and also to give your gut some like a boost in the proper digestion. Okay. And then when you eat your first meal, preferably your first meal should be meat or fish based, protein based.
Okay.
And your second meal should contain eggs.
Second meal contains, okay.
Exactly. And then let's say you finish with your meal around 6 or 7 in the evening, and then only water or tea until tomorrow.
So it's 6 hours feeding window and 18 hours fasting window.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So what are the main benefits of intermittent fasting?
A lot of energy, definitely. People can see that, promotes autophagy. You feel younger. This is the main thing. A lot of people, they start and because of the cholesterol levels that a lot of people complain, you can see the skin starts glowing. It's more elastic. It's not the same like before that was cracking. Of course, we talked about the gut. This is the number one, because people used to consume 6 or 7 meals. It means the digestive system works constantly. Now it has time to relax and operate only twice a day. This is really important because our immune system, it's hidden in the guts. If we are fighting our immune system, we're going to be constantly sick. It's really important. And intermittent fasting helps a lot in that regime.
And also helps with sugar cravings.
Yes. Oh, that's true. That's really true.
But do you know why you have these big sugar cravings? People with IBS, they have big sugar cravings because their microbes, the bacteria in the gut, they are not in good balance. The bad bacteria craves sugar. They cannot survive without sugar. So they are fighting to survive, and they want the host, your body, to give them sugar. But if you don't, then the good guys will win, the good bacteria, probiotics. You know, you have this probiotic living in our guts. And the reason why people with IBS in particular crave a lot of sugar is that the bacteria imbalance. And once this imbalance
especially when you are waking up in the morning, immediately you have to eat. This is not good sign.
But there are also good sweeteners such as stevia and monk fruit, only these two.
Okay.
And
extract,
occasionally
stevia and monk fruit.
Extract, 100%.
100% extract, not mixed with anything else.
Usually it's mixed with erythritol, which is not good.
Exactly.
Okay. You quickly touched on apple cider vinegar. Now, can you talk to us about what kind of health benefits it contains?
Yeah, number one is that when we're consuming apple cider vinegar, it helps with, for example, stones in gallbladder or in kidneys. If we have, for example, problem with that particular stuff, it's really good. A lot of people are using it before they're going to start a ketogenic diet because their kidneys or gallbladder doesn't work properly. Apple cider vinegar will help them to get rid of those stones. And of course, acidity, of course. Stomach. And after that, promotes to burn fat and metabolize fat.
Usually people have alkaline stomach, which is not good. It's
the pH, in the stomach is above 3.
It has to be acidic. Our stomach, in order to dissolve food, especially protein, has to have high acid. We think that it's not good to have high acid in the stomach. Actually, our stomach survives because of high acid. So usually people, because they're eating all sort of stuff which are...
and there is the acid reflux, you understand, when it's alkaline, the stomach. It needs to be, the pH should be between 1 and 3. so you'll be able to digest proteins. This is the main purpose of stomach.
So if you take some apple cider vinegar with your salad, cook your meat together with it, add it to the bone broth. For example, if you're cooking soup,
okay, add it to like
exactly.
what?
It's going to extract the minerals, the acidity. It's very mild acidity of apple cider vinegar, and it has been.
It's a weak acid, yeah. It's not.
It has been in human nutrition for thousands and thousands of years. One of the first things that we discovered was vinegar made of fruits, but apple was mostly available in this area, and they couldn't preserve apple because it was rotten. So they realized they could make juice, and after that, let it ferment, and when it's fermented, it's creating vinegar. Vinegar could go for a whole year, and they realized that with vinegar they can also cure things, wounds, skin, clean the skin.
That's right.
It has antimicrobial, antiseptic, exactly. It even cleans your whole digestive system, and it's very good for us. Of course, you will not drink a liter of it. A tablespoon is enough. So
yeah, mixed with water. And
it's very good ingredient. It's a good old-fashioned ingredient that everybody has at home.
All right, excellent. So should we consume it 3 times per day or?
Depending, definitely once per day in the morning with your first glass of water.
That's lukewarm water. Yeah, a tablespoon of ACV.
And later in your salad.
Yeah, that's it.
When you cook meat, did you ever try to marinate meat for the grill?
No, I never tried that.
Small glass of apple cider or any kind of vinegar to meat, and you will see it's going to taste better and it's going to be easier to digest.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to try that. All right.
Yeah. So we are present on all social media, mostly active on YouTube. Apollonas has a Greek channel. We also have an international English channel. We have our 2 websites, greekgoesketo.com, where we have a web shop where all our services and some other keto merchants can be bought. It's like we have merchandise. So, the latest book that we published is offered through Blurb. It's a company which actually sells worldwide, sends to your address. So it's if anybody is interested in ebook or virtual book, they can go to
greekgoesketo.gr. Yeah, this is
GR or com, depending which language. GR is in Greek, com is in English.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I actually really enjoyed this and I learned quite a bit. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for contacting us.
Anytime.
And let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch. If you need help, please send me a message and I'll be glad to help you.
Thank you so much, guys. See you later.
See you. Bye.
Bye.